अप्रवासी घाट गिरमिटिया मजदूर यह गिरमिटिया मजदूर के जगह जहाँ पे 1833 से लेके 1920 तक एजे कुल गिरमिटिया मजदूर भारत देश से आइला सन. This is the place where the indentured laborer diaspora began. At the Aapravasi Ghat, it was inscribed on the World Heritage List in 2006 by the United Nations. चलिए ज़रा का दिखावा तनी अंदर. In the early 1830s, the British government wanted to demonstrate that indentured labor was a better option for the sugar plantations after the abolition of slave labor. This great experiment was the use of free labor began after the abolition of slavery in the British Empire in 1834. Various factors, including the decision by many emancipated slaves to leave the plantations on which they had worked, led state owners to resort to indentured labor. The successful use of indentured labor in Mauritius encouraged employers in other British colonies such as Fiji, Jamaica, South Africa and Trinidad to recruit these indentured workers as well. Dutch, French, Portuguese and Spanish colonies followed the British Empire and also made use of indentured labor. So that was the effect of the decision of recruiting the indentured labor and transshipping them from 1830 till 1920. तो 1830 में अंग्रेजी जब कुल गिरमिटिया मजदूर के ले आइले सन बड़ा परेशानी लोगन के भइल. लोग बहुत कष्ट में ही जाइल. बहुत लोग तो बीचे रास्ते में मर गइल. ऐजा काहे ले आइल का कि जाके ऊखी के खेत में काम करावे के तरह ले आइले जा और कहलस कि तरह के वजह सोना मिली. बहुत कष्ट में लोग आइल और ऐजा से शुरू भइल गिरमिटिया मजदूर के दर्दनाक कहानी. और फिर जैसे लोग बहुत साउथ अफ्रीका, ट्रिनिडाड, फिजी, जमैका, गुयाना, लैटिन अमेरिका से लेके साउथ अफ्रीका से लेके हर जगह लोग जैसे चल गए. तो वह सब दिक्कत नहीं. हमने के जगह से लोग आए लोग की बलिया का हुई, छपरा का हुई, आरा के होगी, बिहार और उत्तर प्रदेश के लोग जा पूर्वज कितना कष्ट में जा आए. And the kind of trauma they had to go through while they were transshipped from so many different places is just unimaginable what they had gone through in order to suffice the need of the British. Such a cruel act. But today about 70% of the population in Mauritius consists of those people whose great-grandfather came as a bonded laborer, as what we call indentured laborer. Such an extreme level of cruelty was inflicted upon them while they were transshipped from India to these places, and about 1/3 returned to different places, migrated to different places or their homeland. So today approximately 70% of modern Mauritians are descendants of these indentured laborers. So can you see also the beautiful part of it, that now the kind of life they live is quite different from what we usually have in India. but still the legacy and the glory of Indian culture has been preserved by the people from this beautiful land of Mauritius. And I truly am proud of the people from Mauritius who have relentlessly been working hard to preserve the glory of India by preserving its culture, its heritage as glorious as possible. तो वो सब देखिए कुछ सामान बटे और ये लोग का लिया ही रहे भाई, देख लीजिए जा. Look at the condition under which they traveled here. थरिया हो, गिलास हो, देखी जा, स्टोव देखी जा, नहीं जाना इकुल आई रहे. So this is what they carried along the way from India to this port in Mauritius at the portless. Jute sacks, बोरा देख ली. ए बबुआ लोग खूब तो ईखी के खेत में काम करे ले जाता हम लोग. ई गिरगिटवा कुल रंग बदल के अंग्रेजवा गिरमिटिया मजदूर बना दी हलसन हमने के. The abolition of slavery has rendered the British colonies the scene of an experiment whether the staple products of imperial countries can be raised as effectually and as advantageously by the labor of free men as by that of slaves. To bring that momentous question to a fair trial, it is requisite that no unnecessary discouragement should be given to the introduction of free laborers into our colonies. This is what the British Colonial Secretary Edward Stanley to Mauritian Governor William Gom wrote to 22nd of January 1842. So this is the place where the global movement of indentured labor began from, because more than 24,000 Indians had reached Mauritius by 1838. बड़ा कुल ऊँची भतरसन पूरा ऊँची भेलिए लसन है निके खेती करन जे गिरबिटिया मजदूर गिरगिटवा वाला जन बा जो गिरगिट की तरह रंग बदलत रसन माने के कुल उखवा चिप लिया लसन चिभसन खूब ऊँची भसन अंग्रेज बाबू खूब जन बा ऊँख चिभत रसन गिरगिटवा कुल गिरमिटिया बनाए दिया लसन हमनी के. 97.5% लोग भारत देश से आए रहे, जिनमें से 40% बिहार के रहे, आंध्र प्रदेश, कर्नाटका और तमिलनाडु, केरला सब मिला के 31% रहे, और बंगाल और उत्तर प्रदेश 20% और महाराष्ट्र 9%. The most dignified version of Mauritians are the ones who led the path after having been dominated, subjugated, almost reduced to zero. But they led the path to us understanding which has inspired billions of people, which has reinforced the very vision of Sanatana Dharma. After having been traumatized, subjugated, put through all kind of traumatic experiences, still the glory and the perseverance of keeping their culture intact inspired the people from India to be respected for who they were and who they are and who they will be. All glories to our culture, the civilization, the most ancient and the most relevant in today's world.